How's the week been, Chris?
Good. As I said, it's pleasing to get a few bodies back. It's been a difficult period, but certainly a few welcome additions in and getting a bit of time to everybody to sort of work together, gel. So yeah, it's been a good week. As I say, on the back of a good second half performance against Scunthorpe.
Are you like everybody else at the moment, spending your time looking at the window, see what the weather's doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know there's a cold snap. You keep one eye on it, but you've got to be one eye ahead of it, and that's certainly the ground staff are working hard just to make sure. The pleasing thing is that we've always had an area of grass to go onto and get the work in. So yeah, you've got to be mindful of it, and we're not just sure what the weekend will bring. But you've got to be prepared, and if it is the worst case scenario, you deal with it. And this time of the year, unfortunately, you're susceptible to possible postponement. So fingers crossed we won't, but you've got to prepare for it.
It's not like the old days, is it? We're scrambling around trying to find somewhere to train.
No, that's pleasing. That's pleasing. Days of old we were at it. Certainly been inside a couple of times this week. But no, so yeah, I think in all aspects you can plan. Knowing that you're not sort of changing those plans lastminute.com, and making sure you can still get in the work that needs to be done for the weekend.
You've had a bit of time now with the new lads that you've brought. Have they settled in? Have you assessed what's needed from them?
Yeah, I think as well before they actually come in, you know what work needs to be done to keep progressing them, and then also how they'll aid the team. So they all sort of, the ones last week came in on Friday morning, a lot of work done in order to do that. So you get a short period of time to work with them prior to the game. But I thought they did exceptionally well in what they were asked. But as I say, a free week, and we've got a number of free weeks now. You're allowed to really get the nitty-gritty bits on the training ground right, ready for the Saturday.
How long does it take to assess a game after it's been played? Last weekend, for instance, how long is it before you move on to the next game?
More or less straight away. I think as soon as it's gone, because of technology now, you're getting the clips almost after you've done your press conference. So when it's an away game, you can watch it on the way back. So it's you quickly look at it, put it to bed, and see what was right, bad, and touch on it on the Monday, and it's gone. You got to. The one thing I cannot do and no one else can do yet, unless we're back to the future stages, is go back and past. You can only affect the future, and that's something that I always look to. You can use it and the experience of drawing it and make sure you do, but I'm more about how we can change moving forward than certainly looking back.
Do you show the lads a game again?
Sometimes, either collectively or individually. They all get the clips and they all have an idea of their own things and units, etc. But again, you've got to do that whether it's win, lose or draw. I think sometimes people can get hung up a little bit too much in negative things that have been done, but sometimes you've got to highlight what was good about the performances. So we don't hide from anything, but no, it certainly is. And in the modern day as well, people are different kind of learners to what you and I potentially were, and you get told and something was drilled into you. There's still scope for that, but I think now, they do understand when you show them clips from your game, clips from people who play in higher leagues, different sort of things, and that's key. And I think that's where you do see the world of an analyst in football being quite high now in what people desire to have at a football club. If you look at the top clubs, they've got the whole department of them. Ourselves, we don't have as many number-wise, but the actual detail of work that comes out, I think, is just as good, if not better.
If you've given a player clips of his last game, be it negative or positive or whatever, is there always a worry there? Is this going to affect him?
No, you've got to explain. I think if you just throw it at somebody and then expect them to know the answers, some will, some won't. But at the end of the exercise, again, that's part of your coaching tools that you use. So you just make sure that they understand what was expected. Make sure they understand what was good as well, because as I say, sometimes they may not. And the game's so fast in your mind, and when you do try and relive it, there's certain things that stand out there's games throughout a career that you remember. There's some that you don't. There's some that you want to put in the back of your mind very, very quickly. But again, I think that's your mental side and the toughness that you get as your career progresses. That you understand well, that you quickly move on to the next game. Certainly, it's a short career, so and games do come quick and fast. So you've got to adapt very, very quickly, put it to bed, and make sure that your standards are at that for the next game.